Hello there, my name is Sister Anticipation of the Rain, which really shouldn't be blamed, and I'm going to tell you how to start a mission. So, the first thing that one should do is try and find those with a common theme. And to do this, one must know what one is selling. So, the concept is that you are part of a worldwide organisation that is trying to make the lives of people better, specifically focusing on the LGBT plus community. And how do we achieve this? Across the world, there are nuns going about and raising money for charities. They're reading stories to children. They are doing fundraisers. They're out there with buckets. They're out there with tins. They are making literature. They are making flags, they are doing performance, they are doing all manner of artistic outlet. They are making things, they are singing, they are blessing, they are doing all sorts of wonderful things to make our world a little bit better for those in it who are like us. So also I should mention at this point that do we have any barriers to people coming into the order? No. There are even convents that have people that you would consider children. Like I think 12 is the age. They aren't obviously doing the safe sex ministry of it all. But yeah, you might want to discuss in your mission how old you want your members to be. You will tend to attract adults because of the nature of what we do. And what is it we do? We promulgate universal joy, we expiate stigmatic guilt, and we serve the community. Those are the 3 vows that are taken by every sister on the face of the earth in any language that they take them in. Because these special tenements are the things that bind us together as sisters. So you know that when you're going into another city, that when you see Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, they are doing the exact same thing you are. Because that's the thing that binds us all together, is that we make this pledge to ourselves and the community. So, that's vows and stuff. But let me tell you a little bit of history about the Order of Perpetual Indulgence. So, the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence in 1979, this wonderful originator called Sister So Am I, who is Sister Missionary position, acquired some habits from a convent that was closing down and said, we want to put on production of the Sound of Music. And so they said, yeah, go on then. And they gave them the habits, and then the following Easter, the sisters emerged, these gay men wearing these nuns' habits, and they went around giving gifts and niceties to the community, which was incredibly important because they were trying to undo a lot of the hate and stigma that was, and kind of be a mirror for the church. Because at the time, lots of churches and Christianity was blaming the LGBT community for the spread of HIV. So a lot of stigma and shame came out of that, and so well received were they in San Francisco, in the Castro district, that it took on a new purpose. And the purpose evolved because it wasn't just about hating people because they put whites in with dark colours. It wasn't just about the just being nice to the community. It evolved into spreading a message of safer sex, and this was hitting the community in such a way that it called one of the members of the order, Sister Florence Nightmare, who was a medical practitioner, otherwise known as Bobby Campbell, who would be the poster child for HIV and AIDS, to produce a giant billboard with pictures of themselves, because they had the skin cancer that's brought on by HIV late stage, Harcosi sarcoma. I want to say that's Sarkozy sarcoma, I always forget the joys of being dyslexic. But they did this giant billboard saying, you know, come in, let's get tested, let's defeat this together. And it ended up in producing the first safer sex pamphlet in the world identifying HIV as being spread sexually, and was a thing called Play Fair, which asked people to disclose their status before having sex so people could make informed decisions. And 40 years later, we have sisters doing similar things across the world. And you've got them in all sorts of countries. You're talking to me, and I'm in Glasgow in Scotland. We've got them in England, Wales, America, South America, France, Germany, and other places too. Uruguay, Poland. I think we had a sister in Greenland once. Anyway, so, and more nuns join us every day. So there's about 3,000 of us, and I've been saying that for about 4 or 5 years. It's probably about 4,000 of us now, worldwide. And we choose names, and we have identities. So how I build my sister self. So, when I am Tiger, that's the name of my corporeal vessel. Hell is that? Bah. The difference between Anne and Tiger is that Anne is my best self. It is my higher self. It's the self that I try to be all the time, but when I am a sister, I am that better self. So people might say, you know, shout out slurs or negative things to me. And I turn the other cheek, or I come up with something pithy and return it. But I don't go, you know, well, at people, because you're just putting more hatred into the world, and that's not how we roll. So my sister self is based, unlike any other character that I've done dramatically, my sister self is built of the best things of myself. And that's what I give to my community, the best that I can be. And that comes with practice, and you'll find that you can hone it and build it on what the community gives you, because the community sees the work that you're doing and goes, wow, what a wonderful human you are. And you can build on the look in people's eyes about your behaviour and how you do things. So if you've got all these people going, wow, you look lovely, you look beautiful, you look wonderful, then you get that sense of, oh my goodness, well, I must be these things because people are validating me constantly. Or also you can go, you might take a different style. So you might not go for a pretty nun. You might go for something that challenges society. You might go for abstract, or I am going to wear the most bizarre thing I can put on my skin, which is what I've done. I normally go for bizarre clothes. And yeah, it seems to work, and people like it. I mean, you'll do different ministries for different people. So I'm going to show you now what kind of thing, 10 years later, what kind of things you might get up to. This is my bedroom. This is where the tragic happens. And I've got an altar. It's got lots of different things that shouldn't be here. There's like pills and aspirin and medications and stuff, but this is a little altar. It's got money and shit on. I'm going to keep the €5 there because y'all from Athens, and it reminds me of y'all. Little tokens, arts, naughty art, wondrous art from nuns, and little books and experiences that I've had that have been printed off and posted by people. This is a reminder of Glasgow's inception. Oh no, that's Cardiff's inception. And I could spend an hour explaining that altar. and what it means to me, because you go through so many occasions which are momentous and life-changing for the people that you will interact with. So rather than just say momentous and life-changing and people you interact with and just leave it there, what the fuck do I mean by that? So as a sister of perpetual indulgence, no, not in that mirror. You're not seeing my tush. So as a sister of perpetual indulgence, you will have the power to bring smiles to faces. You might be able to do some really important things to change a person's life. You might be able to signpost them to services that they need in that moment. You might find people who are really upset at that time. And what can you do to signpost them and to help them? You are by no means a counsellor, and you are not a crisis counsellor either. And it is not your job to put yourself in harm's way. But if there is something you can do to help somebody, then that's kind of what sisters do. And I'm not talking about money, and I'm not talking about lots of tangible things, but it's the simple act of being there for another human being when they need it, in a short sense. So hopefully my brethrens can guide you, and I will make more videos when I've uploaded this and then deleted it. So here's one crazy overview with you in the background. I hope it helps, and stay tuned for more.